Oh, I was doing an odd job for someone in the community,
Mm-hmm.
and I offered to do an add-on. He says, you're so wet behind the ears. Like, you need a towel over there. Right. So
Yeah.
in the moment, I decided to laugh at it, but it was humiliating, and it made me really mad.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, if you're
Spiteful,
young
if you
and you
will.
can do the thing,
Do the thing.
do the thing, and then
Uh,
turn around and send them a thank you note.
that last part's hard.
You can do it. You can do it. The only qualification to do the thing is to do the thing. No one's ever ready to start. That's Hormozy again. So Alex Hormozy, if you don't follow that man,
Yeah.
follow that
I don't know
man.
if I've ever heard him say that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
The only qualification to be able to do the thing is to go do the thing. So the first time you're up against it, just go do it. You don't have to have qualifications to start. When you finish, you'll be qualified.
What the hell's going on out here?
Hey, what's up? Welcome back, everybody. Another episode Fueled by Spite. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Taylor. And as always, too, like, share, and follow. Today, we are joined by Dr. Christian Nelson,
Yes, sir.
chiropractor, right down the road. I'm a chiropractor, right down the road from you. Why are we talking? We're supposed to be competing against each other. We're supposed to not like each other because we're trying to do the same thing and help the same people. Yet here we are. Are we stupid?
In other ways, yes. We're stupid fun. We're stupid good at what we do. We're stupid motivated to get after it and heal people. But a rising tide lifts all ships. I've heard that from you. I've heard that from others and from other chiropractors that I love to hang out with and have great conversations with. And that's why we're sitting down today, is we want to tell our stories and reach people and help them understand they can get help and have some fun along the way.
Yeah. It's not... I'm sure you've experienced this. Been in practice 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird, and I hope we're not alienated. We're going to alienate some people.
We're going to piss somebody off. If you're pissed off, just stop watching now.
Right?
If you want a real conversation, keep watching. It's going to be fun.
Right? But it's like in the chiropractic profession, like I'm sure you follow a great deal of pages and people, as I do. And this question, like, what's the worst thing about chiropractic, or what's the worst thing about the profession? Man, I say this with as much love as I can, but it's literally the other chiropractors. Like, it's other chiropractors make this thing a pain in the ass. The people we help are fantastic. Like, I told you on the on our exchange in the DMs, like, I don't think we're in competition. In chiropractic's best day, 10% of the population sees a chiropractor.
Absolutely best. Top line.
Yeah. So there's 90% of the people around us that don't know that you or I exist.
Absolutely.
But he's your competition. No, he's not. Like, there are literally so many people out there
for
us to help and share. And
I did a map study.
Okay.
Within 10 miles of me, there are 900,000 people. At my best. 900,000 people within 10 miles of my office. I can't possibly serve that many people.
No kidding.
No way. I need a teamwork approach with other practitioners, with other chiropractors and other doctors to be able to serve them for what they need.
900. Damn. When was that done? When did you?
Last year.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it's pretty current. It might actually be more than that, but
Oh, it probably is now.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, because you're Keller, North Tarrant Parkway, and what?
Park Vista.
Park Vista?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, like, right south of Alliance, that whole place
that whole area is just popping off. The southern Roanoke area, out by the airport, down by the outlets.
Yeah.
It's just filling up so fast.
So you've been in practice 5 years.
Yes, sir.
What'd you do before? Look, give me your origins. How did you end up? How'd you end up in Keller? Why are you here?
So I'm in Keller because a good friend of mine, his name's Sam Watson. He's a chiropractor. He now teaches over at Parker University.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So super cool guy. Super cool guy. I graduated, and he offered me a spot in his practice, just kind of get started.
Yep.
He wanted to help out other chiropractors. Has a similar vision to what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But he found that he doesn't like that very much. He prefers to influence the profession through teaching.
Sweet.
So he went to go do that. But I was one of his test cases, and he brought me into his practice and said, "Hey, let me give you a spot. You can take a generous chunk of what you bring in.
Yep.
Have at it." And so I started in his office in Keller, right off Main Street. And then about 7 months ago, I moved to another spot off of North Tarrant Parkway.
No way. That's good. So why chiropractic?
Oh, man, it changed my life. I had been living...
Elaborate.
Well, I will. I love telling the story. I was in a lot of pain as a teenager. Now I grew up in the farmland just east of Austin, about 20 miles or so,
Okay.
right off of 290. For those that are familiar, it's a town of Elgin.
Okay.
It's known for terrible schools and some pretty good sausage, actually. Yeah, but terrible
Very
schools,
well.
terrible schools means low school tax, and we were homeschooled.
Okay.
So that was an attractive thing. We grew up on about 16 acres, surrounded by a whole bunch of other farms. So I was, since I was a kid, I've been working on the land, playing sports, falling out of trees, getting back into trees, rebuilding pole barns, falling off of horses, getting back on the horses. You always have to get back on the horse.
Absolutely.
Always. Playing soccer and stuff. So I was pretty beat up by the time I was 15.
Yeah.
I couldn't run a mile faster in like 8 minutes, which at 15,
Yeah. I was like,
6'1" and a buck 50,
oh, damn, you were a rail.
I was built like a whip at that point. I should have been doing about fives.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my knees would knock together when I ran. And so I'd come back from a mile run and my quads would be bruised.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
Like
that was not
literally knocked together, not.
Yeah. So playing soccer was pretty tough.
Yeah.
And especially when I was playing against the guys who ran cross country. Oh, they just leave me in the dust, man.
Right.
It was rough. So I got my first adjustment when I was about 15, and I went from about an 8 out of 10 pain down to about a 2. Now he'd been seeing my mom for a while.
Yep.
I was terrified of getting adjusted. Terrified.
Why?
Well, because he had mitts about the size of dinner plates. He was a rugby player, 6'2", 245.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, graduated from Logan.
Logan? Okay.
Yeah, Logan. Played rugby over there. And but super, super amazing guy. Dr. Wilson.
Okay.
He's still got a couple practices down in that area. But yeah, man, he changed my life. And I went from an 8 to a 2, went home, slept for about a whole day.
Seen that?
Yep. It was so fantastic. Woke up, ran a mile in 6.5 minutes. Just dropped,
Like the next day.
The next day, dropped 90 seconds off my mile time, which was so cool. And then went back for my follow-up visit, and a guy rolled in a wheelchair and walked out pushing it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what had happened, but I was like, this is biblical right here. Like, where do I sign up to do this? I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I knew I wanted to change people's lives.
Yep.
My mom's a retired oncology nurse.
Oh, damn.
So very deeply caring person, but I was like, I want to do something like this. Where do I sign up to do this? So
that's cool. You knew at 15, or you decided at 15.
I was going to be a chiropractor. 11
Hell yeah,
years later, walked the stage and started into practice. Graduated Saturday, started into practice Monday.
Wow.
Time to get after it.
That's how it started with Dr.
With Dr. Watson.
Watson.
Yeah.
How did you meet Dr. Watson? Just through the internships then?
So his brother's a classmate of mine.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're both DCs.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So then you were at his place for how long before you opened up your own here?
For about a year. That was
Okay.
April of 19. And then January of 20, I started my own place.
So your own place, January 2020.
Yes. Fantastic.
Biggest thing that happened that year was you opening a practice.
Yeah, that's absolutely the only thing that happened. No,
Dude,
it was rough, man.
Elaborate on that.
Like the first 75 days were amazing. I was like, this is exciting. I'm working for myself. Like I got all these things. And then March 15th, 2020, I was so grateful to be in Tarrant County because
Judge
Dallas
Whitley
County.
or White, or his name started with a W, whoever the judge was.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was, but they
I like
said,
the guy though.
Yeah, like he gets it. He gets it, man. Said, like chiropractic is essential. It's like, well, yes, absolutely.
Right.
Chiropractic is essential. There are many reasons why, most of which YouTube would not like for us to discuss. So we won't do that right now. But yeah,
I appreciate you playing the game.
absolutely. Got to. Part of getting good viewings is not saying the things you're not supposed to. Yeah.
So 75 solid days.
75 solid days. It was exciting, man. I was helping a lot of people with like metabolic things, primarily like lifestyle. So helping people get healthier, lose weight, and as a result, all sorts of other things, seemingly unrelated things would start going away. Blood pressure, heart rate problems, metabolic disease just started melting away. So it was really fun. I had a blast with that, but I remember that last 2 weeks of March, I think it was about $19,000 worth of contracts canceled, where people had signed up for care. They were ready to go. Like, let's go, let's get started. That hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up running a valet with a phenomenal company over in Dallas for about a year and a half after that, just bringing in some cash.
Okay,
to
so
keep the
you
doors
did
open.
that during, because we were talking a little bit about this pre-hitting record. So that was during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do me a favor. If
Yeah.
either play this into it, or if you've got another one too. But one of the things I ask people is to tell me about a way when you had to find a way or make a way.
Oh, that was it.
This
That
was
one of them.
definitely
That was
you
one of
had to
them. Yeah.
find a way or make a way because
Yeah.
you've got
You got bills that are due.
yeah.
You got to keep bread on the table. And when you have people scared to go to the doctor, they were told, if you're sick, don't go see the doctor.
Right.
It's like, in what world, when you're sick, do you not go to see the doctor? Well, starting in 2020, they made people terrified. Well, what if I get someone else sick? Well, okay, let me be very clear. Exposure does not equal transmission. Shocking declaration, I'm sure. But no, transmission is not like, there's very, very little evidence that just being exposed to someone, if any evidence that exposure immediately equals transmission. And it has so much more to do with the individuals involved.
Yeah. Almost like it's a theory based on, I don't know, let's say terrain, for instance.
Yeah, environmental factors play a very, very heavy role.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like there could be two people sitting on the same bench and one gets sick and one doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if anyone else has ever thought of that.
Yeah,
Nah.
or whether or not this magic cure-all that they proposed, the COVIDian sacrament, as I've heard it referred to,
that's
would affect
awesome.
everyone and give everyone equal immunity.
The
It
COVIDian
does not.
sacrament.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
That's not original. That's not me, but I kind of wish it was.
Dude,
But
I've said it on previous episodes. Everything is stolen.
Yeah,
So
no,
by
that's true.
like I've done nothing original.
Yeah.
I've just done my own thing, my own verse of other people's work.
Yeah, I got that one from Newman. So if you're watching this, bud, appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
As do I.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how long did you valet for then?
About a year and a half after that. It ended up being some really pretty fantastic money. So it was kind of nice. I learned a lot about customer service.
Difference, if any, which I imagine so,
Mhm.
because I'm going to throw out some generalities and or stereotypes.
Sure.
I don't know if they're true or not, but you correct me if or when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
If you're people with money valet, generally speaking.
Yeah.
People with money had a certain viewpoint on the world in 2020, 21, 22.
Yep.
What was the difference between what you saw in your office versus what you saw at the valet check-in?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm not trying to insinuate that your patients may or may not have money, but generally speaking, like what was the difference in those two business types, I guess, in that time?
Well, so that's a really great question. So one of them
Appreciate that.
is
I'm new at this, but I'm learning.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And, I've watched a couple of your episodes and it's been really exciting to watch. Like the progression is clear. So hats off.
Growth.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that was really interesting is that the people checking in for valet had a very clear expectation of what they were getting. And they also had a very clear expectation of what they deserved. And they wanted to be remembered. They didn't want to wait. And they wanted service now.
Interesting.
And if you could remember them and give them a really great experience that exceeded their expectations, and then get them very timely service, they were very grateful. So it came down to remembering a lot of details.
Yeah.
And making sure that the valet team communicated, because because if I say, hey, I've got to deal with so-and-so, like he's keeping his car here for an hour, turn it on in 30 minutes. And, another member of the team, like it gets dropped. Like there was like a team memory that had to be kept.
Yes.
So
team memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It wasn't one person couldn't run the drive.
No
way. When we were busy, it would probably be 5 or 6 of us running our rear ends off.
Mm-hmm.
And when your heart rate gets up, it's harder to remember things to begin with. But our GM was freaking cool. He was on the drive with us a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know where I thought you were going to go with that answer, but I like that answer because it's true. Like in one of the best parts about, if I could take this to chiropractic for a
Go
sec,
for it.
one of the best parts about being a chiropractor is dealing with people. And as I'm sure you can probably figure it out already, one of the worst parts about being a chiropractor is dealing with people. Like like there are, like you said, like the dude came in a wheelchair
Yep.
and
Walks out pushing.
walked out pushing it and
Yep.
big old smile on his face.
Yep.
I mean, shoot, dude, I had one like as you were waiting. I'm sure you saw the guy that walked out. He did not look that smooth when he walked in.
It's the transformation in a matter of a half hour or less.
Yeah.
For the vast majority of chiropractic offices. And this is not just me, this is not just Dr. Taylor, but like other places. People hobble in and walk out.
Yes.
People have been blind and walked out seeing. There are many different kinds of blindness. Let's important disclaimer there. There are some that are curable by chiropractic and some that I believe that are not. So, yeah, miracles happen here.
But also with that too, and I'm gonna assume that you're going to agree with this. You and I, or either of us, and some Joe chiropractor could deliver the same adjustment to the same person, the same condition, but we remember the details. We remember just the little things, the thing beyond the adjustment, and that patient will leave better, having received the same thing physically.
Yes.
But not receive the same thing emotionally. They will leave us feeling better, doing better, having a greater result, both subjectively and objectively, than the chiropractic technician.
I like that you said that. I have a saying about the difference between clinicians and technicians. But
Enlighten me.
let's talk about the packaging real quick. So the environment, the terrain, the packaging of the item that you're delivering. So in our case, the chiropractic adjustment is the key thing.
True.
We can offer other things that are helpful and supportive of that adjustment. But if there's only one thing you and I could do for the rest of our lives, I'm pretty sure you'd agree with me. It's adjust.
Yep.
So think about a ring that you find in a brown paper bag underneath a bench.
Okay.
Could be a 2-carat ring, could be just beautiful. It could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now you can get a tiny little ring from Tiffany's. You give a girl the 2-carat ring in a brown paper bag versus you give her the tiny ring in the Tiffany's
in that
box.
teal box.
Which one is going to have the bigger impact?
You're not wrong.
And those are not even objectively the same thing. Now put the 2-carat ring in a Tiffany's box. Oh my goodness. So the unpackaging experience, the being remembered, for people feeling like they matter. People who matter are remembered.
You're absolutely right. And there's an old chiropractor's name is Fred Barge.
Love Barge. Oh my gosh. Are you the doctor?
Yes. And he heals most in whom most have faith.
Yes.
And the thing is, as much as like you don't want to, maybe not you, but maybe some people watching this, as much as people don't want to admit it or agree with it, but if I tell you that you're going to get better, you're going to get better.
The power of positive expectations.
Yes.
Now they have to be based on something. They have to be reasonable enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, within...
We're not just going to be over here just like saying like, oh, you're going to be cured of this uncurable disease.
Right.
No, obviously. But if we do our exam and we do our due diligence, we look at someone square in the face and just tell them, I believe you can get better. Even though you've seen 30 some odd other doctors. Nobody examined you the way that I did.
Yep.
Nobody cares for you the way that I will. If we do these things, I expect you'll get this, that, and that. Really? That spark of hope.
Yep.
Chef's
kiss.
It's the
It
best.
is, like he, like legit,
It's
like
the best.
he heals most in whom most have faith.
Amen.
And to garner that faith in a, for all intents and purposes, a stranger. Like, I mean, people come in to see you and me both based off of stuff they see on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
And
Never met us.
Nope. And also they come in, we have to take ownership of their problem, their issue, and however long it's been a problem or an issue, and all the things beyond it. Like, it's not just pain. It's how does the pain affect you? How's it affecting, your life, your work, your marriage? I mean, I've said it on a few episodes before, from a chiropractic standpoint, if you come in here and you're a dad and you have kids, you're going to pay me because you're not able to play with your kids, and I will give that back to you.
Absolutely. The ability to lift your children again
Yep.
is one of my favorite gifts to give my patients.
100%. Because somebody,
You and I have kids that are about similar ages.
Yep.
We both have 7-year-olds. You got a 5-year-old. I've got a big old gap. There's a story behind that. And then I got a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. So,
Yeah. I mean, and if you haven't heard this, I apologize. I'm going to lay this on you.
Do it.
If you have, I apologize still that I'm going to lay it on you. Somebody told me once, or I read once, like, one day you put your kid down and you never pick him up again.
yeah, that's true.
Fuck, dude, that shit.
It's
Even
gutting.
like even right now,
Yeah.
like that. Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Like that's why I get adjusted. That's why I work out. That's why I attempt to eat right at least Monday through Friday. Like there's like, no, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you're a dad and you come to me and you are in pain, you're going to tell me you're in pain. The guy that left, he's got low back pain, but he's also got kids.
Yeah.
And I guarantee his low back pain is stopping him from playing with his kids. And I know he doesn't want that.
Well, there's so
but
many
he won't
different-
tell me that. And he won't tell you that. But if
You won't volunteer it.
no, he's a dude.
Yeah. But knowing what matters to people, that's the other thing. Because like on the valet, I was able to pretty quickly figure out what mattered to people.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to be in and out of the building. They wanted their car to be cooled off when they came out.
Yep.
They wanted to be remembered. They wanted to feel like they mattered. And so when you remember the person and what's meaningful to them and what the pain is really causing in their life, the
Yeah.
pain sucks. Like pain relief is amazing.
Yep.
But if you tell me, hey, you have to live with low back pain, but you can lift your kids and hold them for forever, I'd be like, yeah, bet.
Yep.
No problems.
All day.
All day.
Where do I
Every
sign
day.
up?
No problems. Where do I sign?
I take a second job. I got to go valet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in.
Yeah, let's go. That's what matters most. And so just pain relief is not the most valuable thing that we do. The greatest gift we can do that we can give to our patients is to give them their life back.
Yeah.
And that goes beyond pain relief. And so when you give someone the faith that you can give them their life back, going back to Dr. Barge's quote, the hope kicks in, the light comes back on in their eyes. Like they talk about the adjustment turning the lights back on.
Mm-hmm.
They're not joking.
Yep.
It's real. So, yeah.
For someone I just met, you're pretty fucking cool.
Well, thanks, man. Likewise.
So we kind of got a little off topic, but I don't mind that at least. Real quick here, like where can people find you?
Yeah. So you can find me. I'm most active on Instagram. You can find me at my handle is Advocate Wellness TX. It's the same on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
So if people like the way that you are speaking and they like your outlook that they've gleaned in these last 15, 18 minutes, where do you get that from? What are you reading? What are you listening to?
So a lot of my formation is formed by some of the older chiropractors, so like Dr. Fred Barge, and Dr. James Parker and some of his stuff. I've had some great coaches. I get to work with Dr. Josh Wagner with Patient Mastery.
Yep.
Phenomenal dude. I've had a great experience with him. But recently, one of the things I've been listening to a lot has been the Sean Ryan Show. So I have a huge heart for serving veterans. I work with the Green Beret Foundation to get some of those guys through here to, just get adjusted and get some pain relief so that they can get back to doing what they want to do.
Yep.
Because talk about, they get done with their time in the service. They still want to be able to do a lot of things that they were doing. But they don't have the magic pills or whatever to get them going. So they have to turn to a more holistic method to get it done. So that's some meaningful work I get to do.
That's cool. How'd you find them?
I reached out to them actually.
Okay.
I just said, hey, I want to work with you. So
Perfect.
yeah.
They said, all right, bet.
Yeah. I was like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically provide a care scholarship for guys over here, an in-kind donation to the foundation. And just send them here. If they're a fit, I'll take care of them. We start with a phone consult because some of them come from all over the nation.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
So I'm gonna throw a couple rapid fire ones at you. I gave you the body of the interview here.
Yeah.
Give me a person you would trade places with for a day.
Churchill
Oh.
during the Blitz.
Yeah, I assume then, not now.
Yeah.
It's not up to a whole lot now.
It'd be very quiet. I'd have a nice rest day
Yeah,
for
right.
my boys.
Well, maybe when you put it like that, man,
I don't know,
that's
man.
a cool answer.
Just silent and dark for a whole day with nobody clinging to my knees.
Right.
Might not be too bad.
Dude,
I'd miss them again, but I just want to see the pure suckage. Like, and I don't want to feel that weight because when I came back, this would be like nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. just to have that perspective.
That's a sweet answer, dude. What's your guilty pleasure?
Sour neon gummy candy.
Fair. Worms, circles,
Worms and the Sour
the
Patch
Patch
Kids.
Child variety.
Yeah, the
kind.
extreme, like the more sour, the better. I've actually found this is probably linked to a vitamin C deficiency, so I got to go look at that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the worst advice you've ever got?
It probably came in the form of a comment that made me very angry, and it was that you can't do this because you're young. You're still wet behind the ears was the exact phrase.
Huh.
Oh man, it makes me so mad.
Can you give us a short version of that, or of a short synopsis of that?
Oh, I was doing an odd job for someone in the community,
Mm-hmm.
and I offered to do an add-on. He says, "You're still wet behind the ears. Like you need a towel over there." Right. So
Yeah.
in the moment, I decided to laugh at it, but it was humiliating, and it made me really mad.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, if you're
Spiteful,
young
if you
and you
will.
can do the thing,
Do the thing.
do the thing, and then turn around and send them a thank you note.
That last part's hard.
You can do it. You can do it. The only qualification to do the thing is to do the thing. No one's ever ready to start. That's Hormozy again. So Alex Hormozy, if you don't follow that man,
Yeah.
follow that
I don't know
man.
if I've ever heard him say that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
The only qualification to be able to do the thing is to go do the thing. So the first time you're up against it, just go do it. You don't have to have qualifications to start. When you finish, you'll be qualified.
That's awesome, dude.
Figure it out, man. Yeah.
Well, here, maybe this will roll into this really well. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
My dad actually telling me, so of the chiropractors that he's seen, and he started out really skeptical as well,
Mm-hmm.
but he's seen a lot of chiropractors. He likes mine the best. And he's not the kind of guy to BS you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's his son. Like your adjustments are my favorite. And that just makes me so proud.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
What's an idea that you think most people get wrong?
I'd say the main idea that people get wrong is that healing is purely physical.
Mm.
In our space, I think that's one of the most important ones. And so for anyone watching who's a patient everybody's a patient at some point. You and I go get seen,
Yeah.
like we will go get treated by other doctors. You need to understand that healing is spiritual. It's based on beliefs. And if you say to yourself, I can't be cured, that is not a statement of fact. It is a statement of belief. And you are cursing yourself. And that curse is only in effect as long as you continue to let it limit you. So as soon as you revoke the curse and you say, I might be able to be cured, because we can't say with certainty, I can be cured.
Mm-hmm.
Your subconscious will call bullshit
Yeah.
on the absolute certainty of that statement. But as soon as you introduce possibility, I might be able to be cured, then hope kicks in. And the effects of, if you've never seen the effects of hope on a brain, and like in terms of an fMRI or like brain imaging or something like that, I'd encourage you to go look at it. You talked about the experience coloring the objective outcomes.
Yeah.
Hope versus no hope. Take a look at it.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like some people refer to chiropractors as hope dealers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
God, you're cool. Seriously, like I've known you for 18 minutes.
Yep.
22 minutes now, maybe.
Yep.
Last one, dude. Give me a question you wish I had asked.
Yeah.
What's your worst day and best day?
I think worst day in practice was that is kind of a collective memory at this point, but end of March.
Uh-huh.
And feeling like I wasn't important and the care I delivered wasn't important. Like it wasn't the most important thing for people. There are some other priorities where I think people need to take care of those first, but that one smarted. That was.
How'd you get by that? Then I'll while you ruminate on that, have you ever taken Strength Finders?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of my top 5 is significance.
Mm-hmm.
Because same boat.
Yeah.
Same profession.
A lot of people went through that here in the States and worldwide even.
So like, but if I'm delivering something that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt will make your life better, especially when the world is going to shit.
Yeah.
You need more of what I have.
When you're under more stress and more load, you need more support, not less.
And then when you don't take my advice, even if you've been seeing me for a while and up until, up through February of 2020, you've trusted me, but all of a sudden March of 2020 happens and you don't. And my significance takes a gigantic hit.
Yeah.
How did you get through that?
I think through empathy. I put myself in their shoes. And it didn't lessen the hurt. It just allowed me to understand where they were coming from a little better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to assign a meaning to the hurt. Because suffering doesn't break people. Betrayal does. Otherwise, nobody would live on the Texas coast. I mean, there's a hurricane with your name. There's a hurricane with your name on it every 3 years, So, suffering and hardship obviously doesn't break people. Otherwise, going to the gym would make you die faster.
Right.
That's clearly not the case.
Yes, fair.
Right? Hardship, suffering, increased load. Young men especially thrive when they accept responsibility.
Yep.
They're like a pickup truck. They're light on the back end. The way you stabilize them, you give them responsibility and you put a load in the bed. They're like, all right, go do something with this. Then all of a sudden they have traction. So, hardship and suffering doesn't break people, but betrayal does. And so if there's a meaningless suffering, it can feel like betrayal.
Damn. Have you seen this is on topic, I promise. There's
I'm up for
an
tangents.
Instagram we're getting some good ones.
Yeah.
There's a reel on Instagram. It's this guy with a phone for a microphone and somebody crosses right in front of the screen. And they're like in a mall or something. And he's like, you see the guy walk right in front of me, and he goes right to this nerdy looking kid with long hair and glasses.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Dude, I'll post it. I share it every time I see it.
Dude, it's so good.
It is.
Don't take it personal.
No.
Most people are just thinking about themselves, not about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and never ascribe to malice that which can be, explained by ignorance.
Yep.
And
so you have seen this.
I have seen that clip, and it resonated very deeply. I like it. I do think that some people are a little on the naive side and don't like to look for malice in others because it's really uncomfortable when you find it.
Yeah.
But it's there sometimes.
But
don't rule it out. Just start with the presumption of ignorance or incompetence.
Yeah.
But watch out for malice, because that's why there are contracts, for instance. They exist for a good reason, man.
That's true.
They do. Yeah.
Okay. On a high note, we did the worst day. Give me the best day in practice.
Best day in practice. A lady with Harrington rods from T6 clear down to L5 walked out pain-free after 40 years of pain. That was a cool day in practice. That was a really sweet day.
Patient smiles are pretty fucking cool.
She was glowing like a light bulb.
I bet.
Like just every cell in her body was on a completely different level. And I had to obviously highly modify the adjustment because I can't move anything between T6 and L5. Yep. That's pretty much.
Yeah. Malpractice insurance carriers get real upset if you attempt those things.
Yeah, they do. The patients do too.
Yeah, right.
It turns out it doesn't feel too good.
No. Patients. Not.
Oh yeah. No, insurance is important too. But yeah, that was a really good day in practice.
Dude, that's all. Christian, this has been fantastic. Dude. Appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
Thanks for responding to the DMs.
Of course.
Guys, as if you're following along with this, I've said it every time, and this is no exception. You will literally learn more here by accident than elsewhere by design. And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, they're out in the world. There are all plenty of different types of people, but we can kind of lump them more or less into two groups. Either A, they're people who are idiots, or B, they're people who are just uninformed. And at least right now, people could say they're no longer uninformed.
They're drowning in information.
That's also, man.
The age of information does not mean the age of wisdom. People, when you didn't have information, you had ignorance. And so you were subject to the limits of your own imagination. Now the internet has blown our imaginations wide open. Now we can imagine things we could have never come up with. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's good or right, or that it gives a meaningful answer for what the hell should I do now?
Yeah.
Which is what I think a lot of people are struggling with. So if you're wondering what the hell to do now, go see a chiropractor if you don't already. And if you haven't been in a while and you've been waiting for a sign, here, do you have a sign? Let's see if we can project something on the back. It says, go to see your chiropractor. Go to see Dr. Taylor.
Oh, dude, that's perfect. From just a Kid who grew up on a farm outside Austin,
Yeah.
falling out of trees.
Falling out of trees, man. Thankfully, it didn't hit my head too hard, I think.
This is fantastic. Again,
Dude.
thanks for taking the time. Guys, as always, like, share, follow. Another episode Fueled by Spite. Dr. Christian Nelson. Name of your practice again?
Advocate wellness.
Advocate Wellness up in Keller.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys.